It's 9 p.m. The homework is still not done. You hear a frustrated sigh from the other room, followed by, "Mom, I can't do this. It's too hard." You walk in, exhausted, and see your child on the verge of tears over a math problem. What do? Do you just show them the answer to get it over with? Many of us do. But what if I told you that this exact impulse to help is secretly teaching your child to give up? In this video, I'll reveal the one major mistake loving parents make that crushes their child's motivation, and I'll give you a simple 3-word phrase to turn it all around, starting tonight. Before you start feeling guilty, let me be clear. Your instinct to help comes from a place of love. It's natural. We don't want to see our children struggle. But there's a psychological concept at play here called learned helplessness. When a child repeatedly gets the message that they can't solve problems on their own and that an adult will always swoop in to save them, their brain learns to stop trying. They start to believe that their own effort doesn't matter. This isn't a character flaw in your child. It's a conditioned response. The good news is, just as it can be learned, it can be unlearned. We just need to change our approach from being the fixer to being the coach. The first and most powerful step is to simply pause. When your child says, "I need help," our immediate reaction is to rush over and point out the solution. I want you to resist that urge. Instead, take a deep breath and count to 10. This small gap does 2 amazing things. First, it gives your child's brain a moment to process the problem one more time without pressure. You'd be surprised how often they find the answer themselves in that brief silence. Second, it signals to your child that you have confidence in them. You're not panicking, so they don't need to either. You're communicating, non-verbally, that you believe they are capable. This pause is the foundation of building their independence. For example, when they say, "I can't figure this out," you just look at them calmly, maybe nod, and wait. That's it, just wait. After you've paused, the next step is to replace statements with questions. Instead of saying, "No, you're supposed to carry the one," you're going to become a detective. Your goal is to guide their thinking, not give them the answer. Use gentle, open-ended questions that empower them to find their own path. This shifts the dynamic from you being the source of all knowledge to them being the problem solver. It puts them in the driver's seat of their own learning. For example, if your child is stuck on a math problem, instead of fixing it, try asking, "What's the very first thing you think you should do?" Or, "What did your teacher say about problems like this?" Or even, "Tell me what you've tried so far." This shows you're there to support their process, not just deliver the final product. It's a huge shift. Now, let's talk about the feeling of being overwhelmed. Often a child says, "I can't," because the task looks like a giant, unclimbable mountain. Our job as their coach is to show them that it's just a series of small hills. You need to teach them the skill of breaking things down into tiny, manageable steps. This technique, often called chunking, is a crucial life skill for managing anxiety and avoiding procrastination. When you do this with them, you're not doing the work for them. You're teaching them a strategy they can use forever. So if they have to write a paragraph, don't focus on the whole thing. Say, "Okay, let's not worry about the whole paragraph right now. What's the very first sentence you want to write? Just one sentence." Once that's done, you celebrate that small win and move to the next tiny piece. This builds momentum and confidence. This next one is a game changer. We need to completely shift the way we praise our children. Many of us grew up with praise like, "You're so smart," or "You're a natural." While this sounds nice, it's actually harmful. It's called outcome praise, and it teaches a child that their value lies in being naturally gifted. So, when they face something hard, they think, "Well, maybe I'm not so smart after all," and they give up. Instead, we must use process praise. Praise their effort, their strategies, their perseverance, and their focus. This shows them that the most valuable thing is the work they put in. For example, instead of saying, "You got an A. You're brilliant." Try saying, "Wow, you worked so hard studying for that test. Your strategy of making flashcards really paid off. I'm so proud of your effort." How do you react when your child gets something wrong? Is it with a sigh? A quick correction? Our reaction to mistakes is one of the most powerful messages we send. We need to reframe mistakes as the most essential part of learning. They aren't failures, they're data. They are beautiful clues that show us what we need to work on next. We have to normalize and even celebrate mistakes as opportunities. This creates a safe environment for your child to take risks without the fear of being judged. You can actively model this. When they erase a wrong answer, say something like, "Oh, that's a fantastic mistake. Your brain is really growing right now. What did we learn from that one?" This single phrase can change their entire relationship with challenges. It makes them brave. Now for a very concrete tool you can implement tonight. I call it the first you try rule. It's a simple agreement you make with your child. The rule is, whenever they ask for help, your first response is always the same, calm, encouraging phrase. First, you try. This isn't dismissive. It's a reminder of the process. You can even add a time component to it. For example, if your child is frustrated with building a Lego set and asks for help, you can say, "Okay, I see you're stuck. Remember our rule. First, you try. Give it 5 more minutes of your best effort. Try a few different things. And if you're still stuck after that, I'll come and we can look at it together." This teaches them to push through that initial wall of frustration, which is where real learning and confidence building happens. It sets a clear, consistent expectation. But what if they've genuinely tried and are still stuck? Does this mean you should never help? Absolutely not. The key is to distinguish between enabling help and empowering help. Enabling help is when you take over and do it for them. Empowering help is when you provide the minimum support necessary for them to get unstuck and continue on their own. Think of it like a clue in a scavenger hunt, not the answer key. So, when they've tried and are truly at a dead end, you can sit with them and ask, "Okay, what's the one tiny clue you need to get to the next step?" Sometimes just asking that question helps them realize what they need. Your role is to be a resource, not a rescuer. This maintains their ownership of the task. Let's be honest, this new approach requires patience. It's often much faster for us to just give the answer or tie the shoes ourselves. But we need to play the long game. Every time you rush in and solve a small problem for your child, you are robbing them of a valuable opportunity to build their resilience muscle. A child who learns to handle a tricky math problem today is better equipped to handle a difficult social situation tomorrow and a challenging career problem in 20 years. We're not just trying to get homework done. We are building the foundation for a capable, confident, and resilient adult. Remember that when you're feeling impatient. You are giving them a gift that will last a lifetime. A crucial part of this process is managing your own anxiety. Our kids are incredibly attuned to our emotions. If we are anxious about them failing a test or not being the best, they will feel it. This pressure can paralyze them. They become so afraid of disappointing us that they'd rather not try at all than try and fail. We need to honestly check in with ourselves. Is our desire to help really about them, or is it about soothing our own fears about their future? Take a breath and trust the process. Trust your child. When you project confidence in their ability to handle struggles, they will start to believe it themselves. Your calm is their calm. Your trust in them becomes their trust in themselves. Finally, let's talk about the ultimate reward. When you step back and allow your child to struggle and then succeed on their own terms, you give them something far more valuable than a correct answer. You give them the feeling of competence, that spark in their eyes when they finally figure it out for themselves. That's the birth of genuine self-esteem. That feeling is addictive. It's the engine of intrinsic motivation. They start to seek out challenges not because they want your approval, but because they love that feeling of mastery. They learn that they are the kind of person who can do hard things. And that belief, that core sense of self-efficacy, is the greatest predictor of their happiness and success in life. That's the real goal. So let's recap. The goal isn't to never help, it's to change how we help. By pausing, asking guiding questions, praising the process, and reframing mistakes, you switch from being a problem fixer to a resilience builder. This is not easy. It will take time and practice, and you will have moments where it feels easier to just do it yourself. That's okay. You are a wonderful parent who is learning and growing right alongside your child. You can do this. You are giving them the tools they need to thrive. Please subscribe for more tips and give this video a like if you found it helpful. And I want to hear from you. What's the one area where you find it hardest not to jump in and help your child? Share in the comments below.